The storyteller. The storyteller sits in silence. A story long settled in his heart awaits its telling. Memories swirl and mix with images of people. Generations of people highlighted, but also people he would see each day. There were so many places, so hard to remember, their edges as blurred as watercolor scenes. The storyteller has much to tell and little time. He is the conduit and the voice, the mood setter and the record keeper. There are so many threads to be woven, thousands of words ready to emerge, but choosing that first word is always the hardest. He stares at the walls, barely blinking, hands clasped and unclasped. Minutes pass. Where to begin? What to include? Who to exclude? Who to glorify? Who to demonize? Who to remember? Who to forget? What to emphasize? What to promote? When to warn and when to praise? When to chide and when to encourage? When to teach and when to preach? He considers. His ending is already in sight. One story, his story, so many names and places. The storyteller leans the weight of his head into his hands. He closes his eyes and focuses. Moments pass. He has a little while more for indecision, hesitation, while the words order themselves, slowly taking shape in his head. And so with fits and starts, the story begins to emerge. Characters are sketched, events recalled. He can see them in his mind clearly, as if it were yesterday. Sometimes he paints them in pastels, but frequently he paints in dark tones. He is present, and in his mind they are there, back again. It is his story, it is their story. As the words emerge, his tone takes shape, sometimes gentle, often with frustration, even with great anger, and occasional pride. For aren't we allowed pride? Just a little. Sometimes nostalgia slips in, and then there is that love for a people declared hastily, but it is a deep love, poignant and red. Once the storyteller begins, it is so hard to stop telling the story, for the storyteller knows when his story is done, sealed and delivered to the editor, he is truly finished. There will be nothing more to say, and he will be emptied of his story. A few more words to go. His story has been written. There are no regrets. He would do it all again. The storyteller is so very weary, and he wonders who will read his story. The storyteller lays his head down heavily on his hands, and he closes his eyes. He is finished.